We are seeing now on the campuses, and not just campuses, I think it started there. And now it's growing to protests all over the world now. Hundreds of thousands are coming out in protest, calling for a ceasefire and sanctions against Israel and whatnot. But I think you and I haven't been surprised because we've been seeing this for quite some time. But the degree of anti-Israel sentiment is shocking in itself. But the degree of pro-Hamas is very shocking. And oftentimes those who support Hamas, the Palestinian cause, are those that would be aghast at what Hamas actually stands for.
Couldn't agree more. Now, I also want to say this, though. A Rasmussen poll just came out, and it showed that 68% of Americans agree with Netanyahu's statement that he made on October 30th when he said, and I quote, "Calls for a ceasefire are calls for Israel to surrender to Hamas, to surrender to terrorism, to surrender to barbarism. That will not happen." 68% recently said they agree with that statement in the United States. 49% said they strongly agree. Only 21% said they disagree. And only 10% said they strongly disagree. And another 10%, I can't believe this, actually said, "I'm not sure." But my point is, when you look at the media, what do you see?
It's all anti-Israel.
Is that what you see communicated? Is that what you see conveyed? No, that's not exactly. Because I believe you see the neo-Marxist liberal media controlling the narrative. And unfortunately, right... Yeah, sure. And unfortunately, because they are doing so, because they're controlling the narrative, they're infusing the population with these lies, with this rhetoric, with this propaganda, condemning Israel, elevating terrorism, not realizing that it's at our own expense. Because we need to realize they've also made it clear what they want to do to the United States, the great Satan.
Well, if you don't mind me bringing this up, and this is very alarming, but I think it's important to bring it up, and that is the infiltration of militants, terrorist militants within our own nation. At the southern border.
Exactly right.
It's an open border, and the FBI has come out not once, but more than once.
Yeah, we had a whole podcast about this concern with what's going on, because it's a known fact that Hezbollah and Hamas have a strong presence in South America. And now you've seen the videos, I'm sure, where military-aged men, looking quite healthy, I might add.
From the Middle East.
From the Middle East, from terror watch list nations are coming through our southern border.
So, again, I don't want to be alarming, but I want us to be careful to watch for what foreseeably could be a tragic attack in our own borders. I believe what we will see is far worse than what happened in Israel in October 7th.
Proportionally speaking, if what happened on October 7th happened here in the United States, we're talking about over 45,000 American citizens killed.
Proportionally. But we are being infiltrated from the south.